Yes, I am making a poor decision, but I am able to recognize that it is a poor decision, so partial credit.
Welcome back to Make It Modern. In this week's video, we're going to completely transform our crowded, dark, ugly garage into something a little bit more manageable. So let's get right on into it. Here we have the beginning. So everything in this garage was just kind of thrown in here. It was a hodgepodge mess, things on the wall. There was an older shelving system that I ended up tearing out because it was so old, and I built a new one. We had plenty of holes in the wall. You can see from the previous owners taking things down and patching the wall. We had to get rid of all of that. The first step was to get everything out away from the walls. That way we could paint and have a nice clean area to work with. And with everything finally outside and away from the walls, it was then time for us to fight off the hordes of people that thought that this was a garage sale. But eventually we did get everything all cleaned up, and we can focus our attention onto the walls. We used a sander, and then we also went in and patched any nail holes or any divots that were left in the wall from previous patches from the old owner. That took a long time. We had so many holes and patches to do, it was a nightmare. And we're using some all-purpose primer here for the walls. We ended up going with about 2 to 3 coats just because the brown on the wall was so dark it kept seeping through. But it's really good if you have a stepping stool and a couple of brushes, and oh, look at that, a nice little message from Hannah here. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you can get notified for new videos. Here we went with a light cream color. I'll go ahead and post the color that we ended up going with on the wall. You know us, we couldn't just leave the wall white. We had to do some nice colors.
So we're losing daylight, and we have all of our stuff from the garage hanging out in our driveway, so we get to pull it back in just to put it back out in the morning. We love projects.
And once the paint had finally dried, it was time to put everything back up on the wall. Underneath our shelving unit here, Hannah organized a Yardwork section. So here she is just putting up some of the tools. And we are going to have quite a few more tools in this area. So unfortunately, we didn't get any videos of how we built the shelving system behind me. But rest assured, it was actually very simple. All we used were some 2x4s cut on the miter saw, but you could also use a hand saw or a circular saw. And we actually used a lot of pocket holes and butt joints. So I actually have a pocket hole system set up over here using a Kreg jig. So it's very simple. In your Kreg jig, you'll get the clamp. You'll get the angled drill guide, and then you'll also get a drill bit as well. So it's very simple. Put it in. And using the drill guide there, it creates 2 holes that you can then use. There you go. 2 holes with specific screws that you can then screw through and create a very strong joint. So that's how we ended up making the shelving system that's behind us. So let's continue on. And to give a little bit of a coolness factor, we decided to install some LEDs. Wow, would you look at those tools. But really, this was super simple. We just went onto Amazon, picked up some Barina LED light strips. I believe they come in 2, 4, and 8 foot. We got the 8 foot here. They're really simple. You just clip them into these clips here. They have some attached wires, and you can either hardwire it or you do what we did and just plug it in. Doesn't look as pretty as hardwiring, but it gets the job done, and it is super simple. Over to the right, we have a little bit of a mudroom situation going on. We have camping gear, shoes that we use for yard work, and also some of the dog's equipment. So we have leashes as well as food over there. That way, everything is in its place. So on the first wall is going to be some tool storage, my workshop area, as well as the workbench on wheels, I might add. That way, if I do have something that's a little bit bigger, I can wheel it out into the middle of the garage and it all works perfectly. And these are some projects that we have working on. So this is kind of our save it for later side. That way it's still out of the way, but we know that we have some work to do. And I don't believe you guys have met Mikey yet. This is my Florida softshell turtle. She's about 8 or 9 years old. Got her when I was a freshman in college, and she has made the move with us over here. So our main storage area will be right on over here. We have quite a few tiers, and I did design them so that they perfectly fit these black and yellow bins that you can buy over at Lowe's, and right now they're on sale for about $15 a piece, so that works perfectly. We have all of our Yardwork supplies right on over here, and no garage is complete without a drinking Plinko game. Thank you, Hannah. And another thing that just makes sense in this garage is we anchored a little rope here. That way whenever we are, hey Arlo, bringing in some items, it's a little bit easier when you have two hands. It holds the door open and we can get items in and out of the garage. I cannot stress how much better this is. We have all new lighting, brand new area to go ahead and do some projects on, room for expansion for future tools, and some practical storage as well. And we are all done. And as always, we are a brand new YouTube channel, so please consider liking and subscribing and hitting that notification bell. That way you get notified whenever we upload a brand new video. Do us a favor, go ahead and click this video. That's the one that YouTube thinks that you'll like, and we do too. Until then, we'll see you next time.